parents, along with Brunswick High School, request that all people in attendance at tonight's game abide by the principles of good sportsmanship. The athletes on the court will be giving their best efforts. We ask that you give your positive support. Help make tonight's game enjoyable for everyone in attendance, especially the people around you. As a reminder, Brunswick High School is a smoke-free, alcohol-free, and pet-free campus. Fans are not allowed on the court at any time and must remain in the bleachers. Designated team bench areas are limited to players, coaches, and team personnel only. At this time, we'd like to introduce the starting lineup for Brewer. A sophomore, number 0, Oli Higgins. A junior, number 3, Kosinski. A junior, number 4, Jack Robertson. A freshman, number 14, Caleb Campbell. And a senior, number 22, Eli Wall. The Witches are coached by Mark Savage. And now, announcing the starting lineup for your Brunswick Dragons. A sophomore, number 24, Owen Quinn. A junior, number 21, Ryland Ray. The junior, number 23, Owen McGrath. The senior, number 3, Logan Gray. And the senior, captain, number 10, Brendan Shaw. Head coach of the Dragons is Ben Clark. Athletic training services are provided by Dr. Krista Headley. We'd like to remind fans, coaches, and players that all sports around our state are in need of officials. We expect their officials to be treated with respect by everyone in attendance as they have given their time tonight to ensure that our athletes can play. Tonight's officials, Mr. D'Amico, Mr. DePatsy, and Mr. Soroyce. Now, will you please stand or remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Brunswick High School Sports Network, where you were almost serenaded by the boys tonight. We stepped in to take over the anthem after about a 30-second delay. Maine Basketball Hall of Fame coach Todd Hansen figured out the anthem, so you did not have to suffer through that. Robert, excited to be here.
Ethan, that is just a complete misrepresentation of what just happened. We just saw remarkable courage from our very own co-president at Brunswick High Sports Network, Ethan Patterson, to start up the anthem. And, of course, me and Kaz were right there for the assist to pick it right up, and then really just from the Garish household to get it going. And then pretty soon we had this whole section singing the anthem. I really was surprised that the whole stadium did not pick it up. And now we see Oli Higgins up against Logan Gray for the opening tip. I wonder who's going to win, Ethan.
Logan Gray, of course, as expected. Logan Gray winning the tip versus the 6'8", 6'9", or 6'10" Oli Higgins.
What? How is that possible?
McGrath will take it right inside, and he's got it for 2, 15 seconds in. Dragons up 2-0. Dragons heavily favored in this one as we see Owen Quinn feed it to McGrath, which is just swatted away by the significantly taller Oli Higgins, who will take it into the front court for the Witches of Brewer. As I was saying, Dragons heavily favored, the 2 seed in Class A North coming into tonight versus the 9 seed Brewer Witches. Brewer notably has Oli Higgins on their team, number 0, that big guy you're seeing. He's made 2 impressive plays already, blocked the shot of Owen McGrath, and nearly had a steal there, Robert.
Yeah, we'll be talking about him all night. He's really the story of this game. How do the Dragons defend a superstar, really? Kosinski ranked Oli Higgins as, I believe, the 7th best player in Maine basketball. And, of course, next week the Dragons play against the far and away best player, Nolan Ames. So how do they fare against a guy as good as Oli Higgins? The last time they played someone to his caliber was a Cole Wen and Edward Little, and they did a great job at shutting him down. We'll see how they do against a 6'10" star.
Logan Gray able to farm some rebounds there and ends up getting his own and puts it in. Dragons extend their lead now 4-0. Here's number 4, Jack Robertson for the Witches. Oli Higgins, despite being a taller player, likes to play most of his game outside of the arc as Brendan Shaw able to take a charge there.
One prediction I had for tonight, Ethan, is that Brewer would try to run a zone defense due to the Dragons' previous troubles in breaking a zone, and just the length of Oli Higgins' arms would really help breaking up those pass lanes. Brewer does start in man, so I wouldn't be surprised if they move. Or are they in zone right now? They're not. Yeah, okay. They are still in man. I would not be surprised if they move to zone later.
Dragons able to get plenty of rebounds despite the length of Oli Higgins, who will control it now. He'll feed it over to Hughes, Cody Hughes, guarded by Owen McGrath, number 23, a junior there for the Dragons. Hughes with it once again, thought about the 3. He'll take it inside, lays it off to Eli Wall, who puts it up to no avail. Brendan Shaw between the legs to McGrath. McGrath will take it to his right, spinning, trying to get around the tough defense of Campbell. Kicks it out to Logan Gray. Gray takes it inside, and foul will be called there on Logan Gray. You know, obviously surprised to see Brewer in man. You know, as we know, everyone watches BHSN. They hear us constantly talking about how the Dragons struggle against the zone defense. So interested to see maybe if somebody watching BHSN and Brewer, who we hope there are many of tonight, maybe they'll pass that word along and we'll see them switch to zone.
Yeah, I think that last game, Ethan, I'm blanking. Mount Ararat would switch in and out of a zone against the Dragons. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that same thing from Brewer, possession to possession, quarter to quarter.
Yeah, Mount Ararat had some success at times against Brunswick on defense. You know, that was a game that we were expecting the Dragons to really manhandle the Eagles, but ended the first half 30-30. Dragons ended up pulling away with that one pretty handily. As Brendan Shaw will take a corner 3. Brendan Shaw has not hit a 3 since, or potentially he's only hit 1 3 since Logan Gray got ejected 2 games ago at Freeport. Rylan Lay able to battle through some Brewer defenders there as he'll recollect it. Spinning around. He is called for a travel as he intends to find Logan Gray on the far side.
Now, I would just like to, I'm not on the call for this game, but I just want to mention one thing that Oscar and I just talked about. We came to the agreement that we think it makes more sense to keep Brewer in a man-to-man coverage because Oli Higgins moves really well, if you hadn't noticed yet. He is not just a stiff plank, and so when you put him in zone coverage and just stick him in the middle, you lose his entire perimeter presence that is so useful. You know, contesting a three-point shot, it is hard to shoot over him.
That's a great point, Cass.
Long 3 is off the front of the rim. That was Jack Robertson. Ends up out of bounds as Dragons will put in their first of the night, Johnny Porter. Johnny Porter was out with an injury in their last game against Mount Ararat. Good to see him back. He is dealing with an ankle injury. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. Rylan Lay over to McGrath. McGrath takes it inside. Too many Brewer defenders in the way. They'll work it around outside. Finds McGrath once again. Kicks it out to Gray. Gray poked away by Hughes. Gray hucks it across. He's got Rylan Lay in the corner. Back across, McGrath. Shaw in the corner. Shaw's second corner three, and he's got it! Brendan Shaw trying to get in the rhythm here early. Dragons up 7-0.
Yeah, last year, Ethan, Brendan Shaw was one of, if not the best three-point shooters for the Dragons, and it was just clear that he was in a real cold streak from beyond the arc. Really good to see him make that shot, but Brewer answers right back with the three of their own.
First points of the night for the Witches comes halfway through this first quarter, as Dragons look to respond here. Led by Owen McGrath, who is blocked by Eli Wall. Eli Wall, senior captain, one of two seniors on this young Witches team. Johnny Porter with the steal on Higgins, bounces through the legs, finds Logan Gray. Beautiful play there by Johnny Porter. He knew Oli Higgins had a big stride and found the hole.
You know what, Ethan? This is our second consecutive night on VHS Sound streaming a ridiculously tall opposing player. Last night, Jackson Altham, very tall hockey player for Gorham, could be the tallest varsity hockey player in the state, maybe. And I just always thought about Cole Bowditch just skinning through his legs, maybe, as some sort of evasive maneuver. And Johnny Porter had a similar idea there, bouncing the ball through those 6'9" legs of Oli Higgins.
Yeah, and the Dragons' shortest player, Finn White, is out tonight. He's a senior captain. He is out with an illness, been out for a few days. So we are hoping he is okay, gets back in the lineup soon. Dragons like to use him off the bench, a good defender. Speaking of, they'll bring in Jackson Tebow and Lennox Moore, two younger guys, to get into the mix here early. Witches will work it around the arc. Oli Higgins fakes wide, looks along the baseline, but sends it out for Hughes. Hughes looking for his second three of the night, no good. Quick up to Johnny Porter. Pass completed from Gray. Porter fakes the three from up top. Inadvertently hits the arm of Jackson Tebow to keep it in, and the Dragons will remain with the ball here. Logan Gray trying to spin. Ball is deflected out of bounds by Wall, and nearly tripped up by the referee in the corner there. Brewer going to bring in Isaac Johnson, the other senior, to replace Eli Wall. Gray hands it off for Shaw. Shaw inside, Tebow open. Finds Porter. Porter open for three. He's got it! Johnny Porter, Dragons, 2 for 3 from the three-point line tonight.
That's just a great point, Ethan. The Dragons, we sound like a broken record here on BHSN talking about their struggles from three, but last couple games really starting to get that dialed back in. 2 for 3 here in the first quarter. Great shot by Porter.
Travel called there on the Witches. Quick shout out to our scoreboard sponsor tonight, Singer Domingo's Portside Realty. We appreciate their support. Currently have Oscar Gartside, or potentially Ryan Livesay at this point, on the scoreboard, so we appreciate their help. Brendan Shaw thinking about the corner three again. Decides to take it along the baseline. Moore spinning. Spins all the way around Johnson and lays it in for 2. Dragons now with a 10-point lead. Robertson will command the ball into the front court for the Witches. Finds Higgins. Higgins quiet so far tonight. Pass intended for Hughes. Hughes was unaware that it was coming his way, as Lennox Moore will take the easy dish, as we've got a foul upcoming on Brendan Shaw.
Yeah, they just called a charge that looked a little bit like a phantom charge to me. Oftentimes on a charge you'll see somebody go, reeling onto the floor or something, but there really was not a lot of contact there, it felt like.
Ethan, we spent pretty much all week waiting for the, quote, Oli Higgins game here on Friday, and he has already subbed out 6 minutes into the game. I guess he does need the rest. it's very common to sub out your top players. Of course, Logan Gray on the bench now for Brunswick and Brendan Shaw. But he hasn't scored here in the first quarter, is all I have to say.
Johnny Porter takes a foul and draws a foul, as after minutes of no play, Dragons will now inbound here. Led by Owen Quinn, who floats it up to Rylan Lay, nearly poked away by Johnson, who is going to guard Rylan Lay, and we have another charge call.
Yeah, that's another phantom charge. His feet are moving. In order for a charge to be called, you need your feet to be set. There's no way that number 11's feet were set there.
Again, at BHSN, we do appreciate all officials. We do know that all sports in our state are in need of officials, so we appreciate their work tonight. Officiating is not an easy job. A hope and a prayer is sent up the court by Jack Robertson. Poked away by Rylan Lay. Tried to keep it in along the sideline there by his own bench. Some disagreement from the bench there. I believe we've got a timeout here.
Brunswick High Sports Network is very proud to let you guys know that we just had a fantastic interview with Cooper Sullivan from Varsity Maine and the Portland Press-Herald. Hopefully we'll see that up somewhat soon on Portland Press-Herald. It was great talking to him. Cooper's a great guy, great writer. That was fun, Ethan, wasn't it?
Yeah, indeed, a good 47-minute conversation over dinner. Kosinski cooked us some wonderful steaks.
And they were just amazing. Thinking those steaks were also sponsored by Singer Domingo Portside Real Estate, but still cooked by Kaz. Just excellent work all around. I hear that Truman Kosinski is even better of a steak chef than Kaz is, which, from what I had of that steak, Ethan, that's pretty impressive. I can only imagine.
Some new blood in here for the Witches. Cooper Harvey, there, number 34, battling with Moore in the paint, as that shot from Caleb Campbell is floated over. Johnson there, Isaac Johnson, able to collect it and find the two with just over 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Dragons will take their time here, try to run some clock, get the final shot. Lay taking his time up top. Johnny Porter now. 15 seconds. Lays it off to Tebow. Tebow's got an open Owen Quinn in the corner. Finds Moore. There's Quinn bouncing across the middle. Gets through. Rylan Lay picks it up for two. Dragons now 15-5 as the clock is going to expire in the first quarter. A hopeless heave there at the end by Jack Robertson. 15-5 lead for the Dragons. Strong start here, Robert.
Yeah, really was. I do see Oli Higgins has some fingers taped on his left hand. Maybe that's impacting him a little bit, but overall, just a great job by the Dragons to really shut him down. Again, the last time they played a player to his caliber was Nicole Maywen from Everett Little, and they did really a great job at guarding him. I believe Nicole had like 12 points, and he came into that game averaging about 25. But really the main story, how do they guard against a superstar? Next Friday, they play Nolan Ames, the best player in the state. That's going to be a huge measuring stick, especially with Cameron Hills being currently number one in Class A North and Dragons being number two. And Ethan, there is no game for the Dragons early next week. So they play today, and they have a whole week off, and they travel north to Cameron Hills.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a quick check over at the stat sheet run by Kaz Kosinski tonight. No real highlight here. Pretty balanced performance from the Dragons. 6 scores on the night for Brunswick, just 2 scores for the Witches. So pretty quiet quarter. Nobody really jumping out as the star here. Lay takes it inside. Oli Higgins now back into the game for the Witches. Bounce out, Shaw. Thought about the corner three once again. Instead, kicks it out to Lay. Lay trying to fight his way through Johnson. His layup is no good. Rebound is collected by Johnson. Higgins now bring it into the front court for the Witches. Tough defense here by the significantly smaller yet tenacious Owen Quinn, as they will switch coverage there with Logan Gray. Higgins now. Higgins guarded by 2 Dragons defenders, tries to fight his way under Rylan Lay and Logan Gray, but turns it over. Lay to the other Lay. He's got it. Rylan Lay thought he had a 3-pointer there. Ref calls it a 2.
Yeah, I saw that exact thing too. Lay's right toe was on the black line, and we could see the official at midcourt could not see that right toe, so signaled for the 3, and the official at the baseline could see what I saw, at right toe on the black line, and he told the scorer's table that it was in fact a 2.
Dragons have been pressing the inbound here really hard, have made the defensive inbound for the Witches a nightmare tonight, as the hard press is certainly in effect here early. Dragons trying to double Oli Higgins now, as he tries to take and keep to himself, but ends up being poked away and stolen by Brendan Shaw. Owen Quinn now in the corner. Dances around Johnson, takes it all the way inside and lays it in for 2.
Just great elusiveness by the football running back. I've said that many times this year. You can really see how his skill set transcends the 2 sports. I, of course, was Owen's quarterback, and he was ran our tailback position in the wing T offense. You can see that elusiveness in the paint there.
Logan Gray pulls up for a 2 from the elbow, no good. Oli Higgins to get the rebound, which is now still struggling to get points on the board here. Have not scored since just a few minutes remained in the first. As Brendan Shaw takes it inside, draws the Witches defense in, and has an open Owen McGrath for 3. Johnson now trying to take it in. Rylan Lay stolen away. Here's McGrath. McGrath trying to dance around Higgins. His layup falls short. Johnson the other way. Over Quinn. Quinn causes the travel.
Ethan, this is just a very encouraging first half from the Dragons. They've had games this year where they look like they won by a lot on the scoreboard, and it's true they did, especially Morse when they won by about 18, that Skowhegan game they won by about 18, and the Mount Eric game won by about 18. But all 3 of those games were either tied or within a couple points at halftime. So they have a trouble of course, I talk over another Brendan Shaw 3. They have trouble putting teams away early, even when they're much better. And it's just very good to see them doing so well here in the first half, up 25-5. Really haven't seen that so far. Ethan, I feel bad. I was talking over 2 of the best plays we've seen all night. What a block by Johnny Porter.
Yeah, Brendan Shaw hits his second 3 of the night from the corner there, and then some good defense the other way. Johnny Porter able to smack it off the rim, keeps it in, as Rylan Lay attempts to make a diving save. Ends up nearly hitting a few fans as Oli Higgins takes it inside, and he is fouled. Both McGrath and Higgins come away wincing in pain. McGrath slow to get up, and Higgins grabbing his head.
Okay, so it was a block by Lay, and then Higgins' head collided very hardly with Owen McGrath's head today. It was the block by Lay propelled Higgins' head hard down onto McGrath, so just bonked heads, both of them. A little shaken up. They look to be okay, though.
Dragons bring in Lennox Moore to take out Rylan Lay, give him a rest, as Higgins goes 1 for 2 from the line. Back and forth, kicked out there. Here's number 23, Paxton Snow. As Higgins regains his own rebound. His third attempt on the layup finally falls in, and he's fouled once again. Higgins now 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Do also want to mention Brady King Video is here tonight. Again, a big contributor to Big Time Hoops, helps run that account. Probably trying to see one of the top players in the state, Oli Higgins, in a more localized game than he's probably willing to go to. Brewer, quite the drive from the area, over an hour, trying to get to see him and his team play against the Dragons team that he has already seen, which was just recently against Lewiston, where the Dragons pulled away in double overtime. Robert, you know, we see the Dragons try to rotate a lot of guys in through here, but 2 guys are missing tonight. Gabe Pernella-Maez, not sure what the story is there, but also Finn White, as we mentioned, out with injury. A few guys who we haven't seen so far, one of which is going to come into the game now, Alan Swain, senior there, number 30, and also Declan Taberge, Humberto Mayenga. I assume we'll probably start to see those guys roll in here with Dragons up with a very comfortable 25-9 lead. Again, Allen, a sharp shooter from the three-point line. We'll be looking for him. Brendan Shaw takes one of his own. Corner 3 once again. That one just off to the right ever so slightly. Dragons constantly switching up who takes over the responsibilities of Oli Higgins tonight. It was Johnny Porter there as he came into the front court. Porter will remain on him here, able to tip it away, and it's off Higgins.
Yeah, that's the same strategy that they used when they played against Nicole Maywen from Edward Little. Again, I don't want to dig up the past, but when the Dragons played Theo Powell in the playoffs, it was Brendan Shaw one-on-one, and Powell scored 40 points. Now they use more of a method of switching up who is man-to-man, giving a bunch of different looks, quick slides, that sort of thing, and it's worked well. They've really done a fantastic job defending both Maywen and Higgins. And once again, I'm going to say this a million times, we'll see how they do against Old Names next Friday.
Dragons just with some textbook passing as Johnny Porter pulls up from 3. No good. Collected there by Alan Swain. Rebound wasn't gathered until he got to the three-point line. Dragons continue to work this one around the perimeter. Shaw looking for options. He's got Alan Swain. Swain will pull up from the corner, off the back of the rim, able to get his own rebound though. Swain with 2 rebounds on this possession. His foot just slightly out of bounds there.
Ethan, that did bring back memories. If you go onto the Brunswick BWIC Sportsnet Instagram page and go to the clips section on the story highlights, and you click on clips, you can see some of our best commentary highlights from over the years. And the very first one is from a boys basketball game against Freiburg last year, in which Alan Swain hits a corner 3. Ethan gives a great bang call. It's just a great clip. Thought we were going to see another one from Swain there.
Almost a beautiful spinorama interrupted there by Oli Higgins. A big presence in the paint as Johnny Porter steals it away. He's got Logan Gray around the other side. Logan Gray finds Porter once again, but he is knocked down by Cody Hughes. You know, as you mentioned, Oli Higgins, one of their best players, but just a sophomore this year. Porter will connect on his first of 2. And the second one as well. Porter showing no signs of slowing down tonight after sitting out that Mount Ararat game with an ankle injury. Cody Hughes along 3. No good. Robertson now dishes it out to Campbell. Campbell to Higgins, which is continued to work it around, stolen away by Logan Gray. Logan Gray with an opportunity, lays it in for 2.
I wanted to see him dunk, Ethan. He hasn't dunked since his suspension for the double dunk technical, a rule that only exists in the state of Maine. I'm still waiting. Very excited for that.
Higgins, another guy that certainly has the capability to dunk with his tall frame, but as we mentioned, doesn't really like to go in the paint a whole lot. At this point, I'm expecting it to be more likely a Logan Gray dunk that we see before an Oli Higgins dunk tonight.
Yeah, there's a very interesting article from, I believe it was Bangor Daily News, where they interview during a recent Brewer versus Cameron Hills basketball game. They interviewed both Oli Higgins and Nolan Ames and asked them their opinion on the whole situation with Logan Gray's ejection and suspension with the double dunk technical, since Higgins and Ames love to dunk the basketball as well. So that was an interesting article to read.
Porter connects from 3. Yeah, as we mentioned, we expected to see Taberge into the game. He is now in there, number 11. We'll try to confront Oli Higgins as he takes it into the paint. Ends up taking the foul as Oli Higgins now heads back to the free throw line. A familiar spot for him tonight.
That's his first field goal of the night, I believe, Ethan.
Yeah, Higgins, one of those guys we expected to see leading this Witches team. Instead, it has been more from the free throw line, which he is now 50% from. Shaw over to Tebow. Tebow, the sole freshman on this Brunswick varsity team. Shaw, double there for a second. Tried to go behind the back. And Heath bobbles it. Playing pass with Tebow. Shaw kicks it out to Gray. Gray wide open for 3. No good. Tebow trying to fight his way around Oli Higgins as the Witches around the other way. Campbell up and around. Beautiful lay in there by Campbell. Shaw now 40 seconds remaining. Dragons going to try to kill some time once again, get the last shot in this quarter.
Yeah, you could hear Coach Clark there. They're going to try to set up a shot for Logan at 10 seconds.
We'll see how that prediction stands. 20 seconds now. Dragons continue to swing it around. Jackson Tebow instead opted for the quick shot and was fouled in the process by number 14, Caleb Campbell. Tebow with an opportunity to become the 8th contributor on the night for the Dragons. .9 left in play after this free throw. 0 for 2 for Tebow as Higgins brings it the other way. Floats it up for Hughes. Hughes snatches it away from Taberge. Gray with the steal, quick up to Owen Quinn. Hughes coming back on him and knocks it away. Dragons will maintain possession, but Hughes able to not foul Quinn there on the fast break. Brendan Shaw with 6 left, finds Quinn. Shaw as we will yet again get an offensive foul, the 3rd on the night.
Yeah, I think that foul had to have something to do with Logan's off-ball pick there. He was trying to set a screen on Higgins to free up Shaw coming around for the 3, and he must have shoved Higgins a little too hard, I guess.
Higgins now 1 second left. Will he get the shot up? Might have been unaware of how much time was left on the clock as he tried to find teammate Jack Robertson in the corner. Dragons will head into halftime, 32-13 lead on this Brewer team. Strong start, to say the least, for the Dragons here, Robert.
Yeah, for sure. What I mentioned, the Dragons have just not been a first half team this year at all, and it's really good to see them just frankly dominate a team for the first 16 minutes of game time. Leading scorer after one half is Johnny Porter with 8.
Johnny Porter getting right back into it after sitting out with that ankle injury last game. We will take 10 minutes here and be right back with you.
Ethan Patterson and Robert Bowen on the microphone, Brandon Ware on the camera, and Ryan Livesay on our scoreboard, sponsored by Singer Domingo's Portside Real Estate. as well as Kosinski on some in-game stats. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the gymnasium at Brunswick High School as the Dragons host Oli Higgins and the Brewer Witches. But Oli Higgins, I believe, had 3 points in the first half. Maybe 4.
I think it might have been 4. He had a couple free throws, and he had a layup there at one point. Yeah, I think he was 2 for 4 from the free throw line and then hit 1 layup. So 32-13 to lead for the Dragons.
Yeah, pretty dominant first half, I will say, out of Brunswick. Did a great job guarding the 6'9" star. And were able to hit a decent amount of threes. Johnny Porter had 2, Brennan Shaw had 1. Here is Shaw, will give to Lay, guarded by Higgins. Lay will find Shaw, he will collect, he's guarded by Hughes. Shaw will cross through his legs and give back to Quinn. Quinn will spin along the free throw line, gives back to McGrath, he will drive, guarded by Campbell outside to Lay. Lay gives it to Gray. Gray will take it in his right hand, make a nice move, take it into the paint, put it off the glass, and Higgins slaps the backboard as Gray's attempt will not go. Getting back here is Robertson. Robertson outside with Campbell. Campbell gives it back to Robertson. He's open for the corner 3, and he drills it right in front of the Dragons student section. A triple for the Witches.
Yeah, definitely the way you wanted to come out and start this second half. That means Witches now have 2 3-pointers on the night.
Gray will give to Shaw. Back to Quinn. He's open for 3. Won't take it. Lay, though, will. And he drills it himself.
Beautiful response there from the Dragons. They're showing that they're still in control of this ball game.
Here comes Robertson, guarded by Gray. Takes a while to enter the front court, but finally does. We'll give it up ahead to Campbell, and he'll lose it to Lay. A hook pass way up to Gray. Will he try to dunk? No, pressured from behind by Wall, and he puts it off the glass for the layup. Still excited to see him get back to that dunk, but just a solid fundamental score from the Dragon star.
Yeah, we're really only going to see Gray try and go for the dunk when he is completely uncontested. We haven't really seen him try any contested dunks this year.
Here's Shaw. We'll give there to Quinn. Quinn has McGrath. McGrath will find Lay, just coming off of his 3-pointer. He'll tuck the ball and put it up. Won't go. McGrath rebound, finds Gray. Nice. Just a fantastic bit of passing in the paint by the Dragons, and Logan Gray has 2 more.
Yeah, great awareness by Owen McGrath. Almost knew that Logan Gray was open before he even got the ball.
Gray becomes the Dragon leading scorer on the night with 9 points. Has Kosinski running our in-game stats tonight. And Gray will inbound from the baseline. He'll give it to Shaw. Here will be Gray. Gives to Quinn. Won't fall outside McGrath for 3, and he's got it. After many straight games of troubles from beyond the arc, the Dragons are dealing the triples.
Yeah, and the turnover counter at this point for the Witches, it's getting a little bit excessive. They have really struggled to get the ball out of their own defensive end. As you see, once again, swatted away by Owen Quinn.
The Dragons are shooting the ball at an extremely high level here to start the second half. Gray just made another nice long 2. And that little stretch from the Dragons in the first 3 minutes was just incredibly dominant.
Yep, there's no other way to put it. Dragons put up 12 points in that short 2-minute and 46-second span.
Yeah, that was a 12-3 run.
Exactly. Exactly how you want to start, right? The Dragons just, as we say, just stepping on the throat of the Witches, just cutting out any hope that they may have had coming in. They hit that early 3. They got on the board first here in the second half, and then instantly all their hopes and dreams were just wiped away.
Ethan, fun fact about Brewer High School. I'm going to have to fact check this. It's been a while since I researched this. I'm pretty sure they still do it. They have this really cool tradition where at the start of the football season, the Brewer Witches will play an exhibition game with the Salem Witches in Salem, Massachusetts. That is how it's been a long time tradition Of course, Salem Witches, a little bit of a maybe disrespectful school mascot, but Salem High School of Massachusetts are also called the Witches, so it's a little battle of the black and orange witches schools across New England, and that's how they open their football season. So I think that's a really cool tradition.
Thank you, Robert.
McGrath will find Porter behind the back to Gray. That wouldn't fall.
Yeah, we'll call that a Robert Bowen fact of top 10 things I didn't want to know, and I still wish I didn't know.
You didn't want to know that there's a Massachusetts versus Maine exhibition football game every year? I think that's pretty cool.
Sure.
Here will be Campbell, guarded by Shaw. Nice catch along the sideline as now Wall will find Higgins. Higgins, quick pass inside back to Wall. He'll put it up and score through Porter's defense to the golf claps of the Brewer faithful.
Yep, as we know, probably a majority of the Brewer faithful are watching this game tonight. It is quite the long drive from Brewer.
Shaw will find Gray inside. Gray, nice pass outside to McGrath for three. Got it! The Dragons are just money all around. That's McGrath's second triple.
Yeah, interesting there. McGrath's celebration was pointing down at his coach, Coach Ben Clark, and he could do nothing but smile.
McGrath is said by Kosinski to be the best three-point shooter for the Dragons, and he ties Logan Gray for the most points on the night. Both of them have 11.
Referees certainly not afraid of the whistle tonight. Dragons have picked up quite a few fouls so far. Not much else to say about that.
Here's Hughes, guarded by Gray. Hughes will spin, give it outside to Higgins. Three for Robertson's too far. Lennox Moore with the rebound. Gray released to open up the court. Moore did not see him. The Dragons will settle. Here's McGrath. Will take it inside with his left hand, lay it up, won't fall. Higgins records yet another rebound. He'll bounce inside to Wall, and it's swatted out of bounds by Johnny Porter.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that one on the Brady King video edit. He had a perfect view on that. Somehow, Johnny Porter has gotten a technical on that play.
Whoa.
I didn't see, I'm assuming maybe he said something. I didn't see a celebration that would warrant a technical. We're going to replay that and see if we can understand what happened there.
I don't know. That's my best guess.
Yeah, it seems like the referee pretty much instantly made up his mind after that swat by Porter and just walked over to the scores table and gave him the tech. I'd be interested to know what that was about. You know, sometimes in high school sports, kids will inadvertently get fouls or penalties for swearing when they celebrate. So I know that's happened to Liam Driscoll, former soccer player, once got a yellow card for celebrating and swearing in his celebration at one point. So maybe that's what happened there.
Here's a three and a swish by Cody Hughes. Brewer has been pretty good from beyond the arc as well. They haven't taken a ton of shots from out there. Gray will find McGrath inside. He will put it up off the glass, won't go. A nice job to keep it in bounds and throw it off of Oli Higgins and out of bounds. A savvy play by McGrath, but wow, hope that Higgins is okay.
Yeah, right in the precious section there for Oli Higgins. He does seem to be okay.
Gray inside. Great job by Moore to collect that. The pass was swatted by Higgins, but Moore still collected it, and Higgins turns the ball right over to Brendan Shaw. Shaw up ahead, caught by Tebow, who's been very good recently for the Dragons. And he has it stolen by Higgins as well. Haven't seen a ton on offense. That's extremely impressive from Higgins, but you can just see what a guy like that does for you on defense. He's had, again, don't have the official stats, but somewhere around the 1 million range for rebounds and somewhere around the 10,000 range of steals.
That sounds just about accurate.
Johnson outside. It will be caught by Hughes. Guarded by Tebow. Hughes will cut back, looking for Campbell, and Shaw will just bat it up ahead to Tebow, who scores. Brendan Shaw, the tennis player this year, with a nice little tennis tap up to Tebow.
Yeah, Logan Gray also will be trying out for the tennis team.
I believe Logan Gray will be playing lacrosse. I believe Ethan Patterson will also be playing lacrosse this spring. No words, guys. Sorry, Coach Herman.
Robert, this may be a good time to mention that our leading VHSN Fan of the Year candidate, Mr. Boyd, is in the house tonight. Not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised. And again, those are two separate awards, the BHSN Fan of the Year and the BHSN Fan of the Year, which currently in the lead are my grandparents, along with Micah Greenwald.
Right. Shout out to those watching from Willow Grove tonight.
Here is Quinn. Will carry into the front court as Tebow. Tebow will find McGrath. McGrath lofts it, caught by Taberge. Taberge will give it to McGrath. McGrath puts up the 2 and scores. A 50-burger for the Dragons. I do not believe they've hit 80 yet this year, Ethan. Might be a benchmark for them.
That would certainly be exciting. We are seeing them. They're going to rotate some guys that don't get a ton of playing time in. These guys are still very capable. As we see, Alan Swain's going to check in next year in a minute. As we mentioned, a sharpshooter from the three-point line. So definitely within reach.
Yeah, 79, I believe, is their highest against Freeport last Thursday. And a nice over-the-head pass from McGrath on the ground. Quinn has it for Brunswick. He'll bounce inside to Moore. Moore, nice pass to Tebow, who tried to get the shot around the block by Higgins and ends up missing. Here's Johnson. He'll cross over and give outside to Higgins. Higgins crosses over, puts up the 2, and I believe that was just an air ball.
Yeah, not sure if that was deflected or just wasn't strong enough there from Oli Higgins, but got nothing but air.
Coach Clark calls out that he wants this to be the final shot. He wants it to be a 10 at 15. Not sure what that means. Taberge. We'll give it to Tebow. And now at the 10-second mark, we'll see what the Dragons do. It will leave McGrath driving, and Moore gets the rebound and scores. As the third quarter expires, the Dragons add one more. Maybe one last heave by Johnson. Puts it up from half court and will nearly hit Brady King video.
Yeah, it looked like Johnson might have just been trying to delete the footage on Brady King video SD card there. This is not how the Witches wanted to be as they were heading into the fourth quarter. Again, they are now down by 28 points. That's pretty much an impossible comeback. Yeah, that's not much else to say. Pretty much impossible. I expect the Dragons to continue to play some of their bench players. One guy who we haven't seen tonight, Umberto Mayenga, I expect to see him get into the game. I'd be interested to see if we keep seeing the starters for the Witches, such as Oli Higgins, Hughes, and Campbell.
Yeah, the one thing that I wonder, Ethan, with the entire week layoff until the next game against Camden Hills, does that encourage Coach Clark to keep his boys in a little bit longer than usual? Maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think at this point, probably not. He's going to send out Swain, Quinn, Lay, Taberge, and Tebow. So 2 starters. Tebow sees significant time. The only guys who aren't going to be on the court to start who aren't seeing significant time are Mayenga and Moore. I expect to see them to rotate through. We'll see if they take out the starters in Lay and Quinn, but we'll see.
Quinn will give it back to Tebow. I believe, is that Travis Lee with the camera, or we have some news camera in the building as well. All sorts of media in the building. Cooper Sullivan, though, covering Bangor versus Mount Ararat girls basketball tonight.
Shout out Coop.
To Burge for three. Blanks off the back of the rim, rebound by Eli Wall. He'll bounce ahead to Johnson and scores two for the Witches. Tebow will enter the front court, give it off to Lay. Lay will take it inside, and a nice crafty layup with the left hand by Rylan Lay. That is his strong suit, Ethan.
Yeah, Lay taped up on the left hand. Had we seen that earlier?
Yeah,
I think that might be new.
I was about to say that was new, but I didn't want to sound silly if I had just missed it, so I'm glad that you see the same thing. So Burge will put it up, and flanks off back of the rim once again. Swain with a nice rebound, though, gives it to Quinn. Here to Lay, 4-3. Got it again. Just a completely different Dragons offense than what we've been used to. Just a couple weeks ago, on New Year's Eve, the Dragons shot 1 for 18 from 3 against Lewiston, and they've just been money tonight. Do not have the exact stat, but I have at least 3 players with multiple threes, and they've all been very clean makes. Here is Paxton Snow, a freshman for the Witches.
Do you also want to point out another freshman listed on the Witches roster, number 1, Brady Flagg. We haven't seen him tonight. Flagg is spelled the same way as Cooper Flaggs, the rookie for the Dallas Mavericks. Do you think there is possibly a relation there?
Well, Brewer is somewhat near Nokomis, or Newport. Nokomis is the name of the high school in Newport?
Something like that.
I think so. Brewer is around that same area, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Here's Quinn. We'll give to Moyenga. Ethan, I must say I do wish that VHS hadn't existed in the Cooper Flagg era. We probably would have skipped a number of Brunswick basketball games to go and stream the Nokomis state championship run.
That would have been quite the time indeed, Robert.
To Burge, what a pass to Swain for 3. Too far. To Burge gets the rebound and will almost score through the contact. Steal here by Swain, gives it to Quinn. Up ahead, Tebow. Tebow will fire. Swain, another try for 3. Won't go. Moyenga with a nice rebound, swatting it to himself. Couldn't score. He got that rebound over Cooper Harvey. Here's now Snow carrying into the front court for Brewer. Will bounce to Robertson. He has Johnson will pivot and now give it outside with Wall. Wall back to Snow, guarded by Tebow. Freshman on freshman. Tebow gets the steal, but only by fouling. And now we will see Brady Flagg. Doesn't look a ton like Cooper.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. We'll see if his play is at all similar. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we weren't able to cover Cooper Flagg, Robert, because that's when you were still 5'10 and 120 pounds.
Of course, now 6'1", 155. Gotta love the Sport Cam scoreboard disconnecting just randomly throughout the game. We are currently at 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go. In the fourth quarter, our score is 58-27. Moyenga gets the rebound. So Burge will pump, take it inside. Caught by Tebow. He'll lose possession. Moyenga will give it. Swain will try the 3 again. Flanks out and out of bounds. Here's Tebow. We'll give it there to Swain. Swain been trying a lot of threes, Ethan, has not made one yet. Moore will get possession, give outside to Burge. To Burge, here Tebow, he'll try the corner three, and cranks a couple times and out. And Moyenga will throw that ball into the Dragon cheerleaders.
Yeah, foul there, committed by number 22, that's Eli Wall, as Moyenga will head to the line. Chance for his, I'm not going to say it, Robert. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to jinx him. Oh dear. I'm sorry, folks. That's my fault.
You know, Ethan, I actually prefer jinxing the athletes so then they can blame me instead of blaming themselves. When you got the 2 penalties in the game last night, after I complimented you for not getting any penalties recently, that was my fault. You see, it wasn't your fault at all for getting the penalties. It was all on me. So I do prefer getting the jinxes so then, you know, we can take responsibility.
Beautiful lay there by Declan Taberge. Declan Taberge getting his first points of the night.
That ball skyrockets above the backboard as a trio of Dragons in to defend. Checking into the game is Liam Greenlaw, a sophomore for Brewer, number 5 in black. Eli Wall will come out of the game, the senior.
Yeah, it's up to 9 contributors on the night for the Dragons, all but 2 here that are dressed, both on the court in Moyenga and Swain.
Yeah, that first game against Greeley, I remember they had 10 unique scores, so it's been a common theme for the Dragons to get everybody on the scoreboard, on the score sheet, I should say. Here is Moyenga, will take it inside, finds Moore for 3, and he's got it. Dragons just spend money from beyond the arc. Here is Tebow to carry up the court. Tebow to Swain. Taberge cutting. Swain guarded there. We'll give it to Tebow. Has Moore. Moore finds Tebow outside Swain. Another try for 3. And it still will not go. Moyenga the rebound and the putback, and there are his first points. Flag will try a 3 and drain it.
Maybe he is a relative of Cooper Flag, Robert.
I think it's pretty safe to say. Here is Tebow. We'll give to Taberge. He has Moore. Shaw still looking for that 3. And he finally hits it. Alan Swain adds himself to the score sheet. And Ethan, does that get every player a score who is suited up tonight? Yes, that's just great. If you were a person who put on a Brunswick Dragons varsity basketball jersey today, there's a 100% chance that you scored a point. Finn White and Gabe Purnell-Myers, of course, did not dress, so they did not score, but all other players did. And you love to see that, Ethan.
Yeah, you do. Just a full team effort tonight. It's something that we expected we might see, and it's good to see it actually come out and into fruition.
Tebow, guarded there by Flag. We'll give it to Taberge. Gives it to Moore. Lennox Moore with 40 seconds left to work with. Moyenga will find to Burge. To Burge has more. More to Moyenga. Outside caught Tebow, guarded by Flag. Dragons content to run a whole bunch of this clock off as the quarter and the game winds down. Tebow might just kill the last 15 seconds. Gives it to Swain. Swain to Moore. Back to Tebow, and the Witches seem to be content as well. A dominant performance from the Dragons as they double the Witches in the final score, 68-34.
Yep, it's what we expected coming into the game. Just great work all around from the Dragons. That'll give them some good confidence. They've got a week of rest coming up, a week of practice, recharge, and then they've got a big game against Camden Hills next Friday.
Well, we thank you all for joining us here on Brunswick High Sports Network. Ethan, we just have to award our player of the game. I think we are going to say it at once again. So let's get a quick countdown from 3. 3, 2, 1. Owen McGrath.
I'm kidding. Owen McGrath. Great play. Owen McGrath had 13 points tonight. Led the team. Also notable performances from Rylan Lay and Logan Gray. Owen McGrath comes out on top tonight. He gets the BHSN Player of the Game, and I believe that is...
It's his second.
It's his second BHSN Player of the Game tonight.
He had one earlier in the season against Edward Little.
Dragons now will make it 7 wins in a row. Again, as we mentioned, they've got a tough matchup next week. We will be there. BHSN is heading to Camden with the bus. Tune in. Should be a great game. That's the 1 seed and the 2 seed in Class A North. Cannot wait for that one, Robert.
You may see Kaz on the call tomorrow as the girls basketball team travels up to Brewer. You may not. We don't know quite sure yet, but I know that you can find out by checking our Instagram page at BWIC Sportsnet. Kaz, coming back from the student section now, any thoughts on that game?
A clinical performance by Brunswick there. Knew exactly what Brewer wanted to do and just didn't let it happen. Shut off Oli Higgins immediately. He got nothing tonight, and other than that, just excellent by Brunswick. Defense solid all around. Offense just broke down Brewer and found their weak points, exploited them. Yeah, great shooting performance as well from Owen McGrath and several others.
Yeah, no dunks at all from a guy who can dunk by just reaching his hand up in the air. We thank you all for joining us here on Brunswick High Sports Network. Brandon Ware on our camera, Ethan Patterson and Robert Bowen on the microphone, Kaz Kosinski on the in-game stats, and Ryan Livesay on our scoreboard, sponsored by Singer Bingo, Portside Real Estate. Dragons advance to an 11-2 with a 68-34 victory.